Boys, how's this for a podcast spot?
Where are we right now? What is this room?
No idea where we are right now.
This is us hiding out from the rain and stumbling on a gem.
A gem. That's a good word.
So this is the in-between room for the men's and women's locker rooms here at Whistling Straits.
But it's completely empty. I don't think anyone uses this. In fact,
I guess
this
not
locker
right
room
now.
Here, there's PGA professionals, tour players' names on it. Tiger Woods, so David Tom.
The players, undoubtedly, this is what they'll use when they're here.
They'll hang out when they're here for Ryder Cup. This den, this lobby, this hangout, this is probably their spot.
Yeah.
There's a bar over there. There's a little kitchen area.
It's a wild spot. So give you a little bit of background on what we're going to talk about today. So our trip to Kohler, Destination Kohler here in Wisconsin, we've gotten to play all the courses except for the Irish, which we actually go out on in 45 minutes. Yep. So it's going to be a little bit of a shorter podcast today, but we had to squeeze this one in because we were supposed to be out in those beautiful Adirondack chairs right behind Whistling Straits. Unfortunately, as perfect as the weather's been this whole trip, we just got some rain rolling through. So we ducked inside, stumbled on this gem, and I think the thing we want to do here with this pod is take you guys through our experience. We've even got Zach here in front of the camera.
Joining the team.
Usually the man behind the camera because he's got some interesting perspective, getting out there, droning the Straits and some of these other courses. What did you call it? You called it a religious experience?
Yeah, either a religious or a spiritual experience. Yeah,
you had a
for sure.
Course to yourself. It's 6 in
yeah,
the morning.
I was the only one out there, and it was me and the Greens crew, and they were like cheering me on. I walked the Straits course twice.
Which, by the way,
All
one
18.
thing we learned: the Straits course goes along the lake in both sides, and it goes out like a figure eight. So they told us when you walk it, because the only way to do it is to walk it. It's an 8-mile walk.
It was a hoof.
Yeah, so you walked 16 miles that day.
Yeah, I think I had around 35,000 steps.
Jeez, we felt it. But I'll tell you what, why we wanted to talk about this here is because super, super pleasantly surprised at this whole Destination Kohler. You know, we've done a lot of these trips. We went, we were in Scotland, we did Pinehurst, we did Innisbrook in Florida. So we love doing these like golf trips where there's a lot of courses in one area to play. And I think we were hype level like an 8 or a 9, just knowing we were going to play Whistling Straits.
Right.
But I've quickly pinged it out to a 10 when we got a chance to
ping.
Quick. 2 things that I want to talk about. One was just the experience at Kohler in general, the food, everything was out of this world. And we're going to talk about who we think this type of trip is best for. And then second thing is the other courses. Black Wolf Run was legit.
There are 3 great courses there, right? The Meadows Valley, not the Irish, what did we just walk off of?
River.
The River.
The River.
And then you got the Bats.
And the Bats. And the Bats just opened up in November of last year. So we'll kind of take you through this in kind of the order that we played it, because we'll talk about the Straits. That was the big boy. Incredible experience out there. We actually had the guys from Busta Jack, who are an up-and-coming content creator. They've been doing this about 8 months.
They were on the pod not too long ago.
We had them on the podcast, that's right. They came out and joined us. They got to experience it with us, and it was just an incredible day. Weather was perfect, all that. But let's talk about Black Wolf Run, because, again, if you're looking to put together a golf trip, this has to be on your list. And I know we get a lot of DMs. People be like, I'm looking to put together a bachelor trip or something like that. Right. Where do I go? And I think a lot of people would be like, okay, Whistling Straits is great, but the only really, I'm at least guilty of this, only thinking of that and maybe the Irish, and just totally overlooking, which never should do that again, the other courses. Black Wolf Run. You've got incredible. 2 Pete Dye gems over there.
Yeah, and they're beautiful courses and they're challenging. You see the green complexes, everything. Pete Dye's signature on all these courses, but they're all a little different.
Yeah. So let's take you through this. First of all, we end up staying at I think it's the Inn at Wood Lake.
The Inn at Wood Lake, yep.
Which is right by, there's the American Club, all the Kohler.
It's probably, I think, the highest end place to stay here.
Yeah.
Right. So.
But I tell you what, the Inn at Wood Lake is no slouch.
It's absolutely no slouch.
And I love when a golf place knows it's a golf place and caters to golfers. That place every morning at 5:30 a.m. is buzzing. Like everybody's up and ready for their early tee times. Right. And they know they got a complimentary breakfast and they do it right. Every day it's a different like hot sandwich. It's pre-wrapped in tinfoil, ready for you to grab it and get to your tee time.
Go life.
Like they cater to golfers here.
I had one today on 18th fairway of the river.
You took a second one out there.
Yeah, I had a second croissant witch.
There was croissants today. They had burrito wraps. They had everything. So we get over there, and then it's a quick drive. I mean, you could probably walk it. It's maybe a mile down the road to get to Black Wolf Run. Now, Black Wolf Run has its own separate pro shop, restaurant that's there. And I think the thing that impressed us when the day we landed, we stopped over there first, that outdoor patio and the deck and that whole area. Again, just perfect spots to sit before, after, around, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's cool.
Fire pit. We got the drinks there. Hospitality level $1 billion.
Everyone's so nice here.
Everyone is so nice. It's like coming from like New York and New Jersey. It's like
at each other.
It's like scary nice. It's like when you're like, I don't trust him. Like, this guy's up to something. He's too nice. Right. But they're just that nice.
Yeah, they're just nice.
You know what I'm saying? So we played our first round was at. And I keep saying this wrong. It's either Meadows Valley or Meadow Valleys. I keep getting it backwards. But it's a brilliant course. Pete Dye design, super hard. And you've got a true tale of two nines.
That's for sure.
You've got heading out it's literally in a meadow. And it's flat.
And then
but
hit him hard, but it's on the back.
You got the valley. So we go out with the meadow, we come in with the valley. I mean, the name is a little on the nose, but you get what I'm saying. But some of just like the things that were put together, like the typical like Pete Dye signature railroad ties, the huge like drop offs and cliffs, water worked in. I'm a bridge guy, so there was one bridge that was made out of an old train car. You know, so it's just like really some cool stuff over there. So we played there, and then we dipped over to the baths, which, by the way, Busta from Busta Jack felt terrible. He kept thinking we said the bats, like a baseball bat, so he was calling it the bats the whole time.
One of the bats, boys.
Yeah. So, and then he saw the bathtub, and he put two and two together. But we actually got to play the baths twice. So if you heard our podcast from Pinehurst, you guys know we were big on the cradle, right? I mean, you love the cradle.
Love the cradle.
Like we've said it a million times on the show, a good short course. It's fun. It's inviting. You can play the course in an hour. They've got the bar. They've got all that type of stuff. I'm going to say it. The baths won up the cradle.
It did. And the cradle was a lot of the holes were the same.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, they're the same.
No?
Short, just a green.
Wait, you like the cradle better?
Yeah, I personally like the cradle, maybe for different reasons.
What was it? The vibe? What was it?
I think the vibe was a little bit better at the cradle, and it was just laid out in a way that I liked. Like from the first tee, you could see the green of the furthest away tee,
open.
And you could see everything, and everybody. It was more of like a hang between everybody that was there. The baths kind of went out and back,
and you couldn't see other holes.
Yeah, so it kind of felt like it was just you and your group out there, which is great. I'm not saying that isn't cool, but
it was cool when it just opened up on like hole 4 and you saw like 6 holes.
But I get it. Like the vibe of like the cradle was more like a big backyard party.
Yeah.
Like you could literally see all the holes. It was in a contained spot, and then like it's just a party.
Right.
This felt more like an actual golf course, in so much as that each hole, like especially with the berms, like you couldn't see the other holes. And on top of that, they had two, instead of the cradle, you had 1 yardage you could play. You had 2 posts that you could play 2 yardages, and some of them pushed it out deep. So it wasn't just walking around with wedges. Like you could play that course. Like I think the longest was like 175. Yeah. So you could be walking around with a 5-iron or whatever. But they did have the option, which we took advantage of. The next day we played with Busta Jack when they came in. They've got hickory clubs there and the replica hickory balls, which is exactly the same as what we did in Kingarrick when we were in Scotland. And that was so cool because it was like playing it 2 different ways. But where the similarities were with the cradle is that they've got the bar right there. You grab your transfusion at each tee box. You had like a spot where you could put your drink. Yep, so that was a similarity, but it felt a little bit more like a golf course. But I loved the design. It was fun. You had that huge punch bowl, which, by the way, Busta lipped out for a hole. It would have had a hole in one. That was wild. But then you've got waterfalls out there, just a beautiful spot. And I think it's the perfect way to unwind after a round. We did it perfect. We played Meadows Valley in the morning. Then we hit the bats in the afternoon.
Can we talk about what we did on the Meadows Valley?
Let's go. Let's go.
So it was Zach. It was your idea way back. Magic 8-Ball.
Oh yeah, I'm very proud of this one.
This is his like high moment here, other than the mullet. He kept the handlebar mustache all the way.
As you can
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Folks, he got a couple looks.
I think I might be a handlebar guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Now you are.
So Zach stumbled across this like Etsy listing or something where this woman makes.
Well, I
custom-
just thought about
Or
it
maybe you
one
just thought
day.
about it and then
I just
looked it
thought
up.
about it. I think I might have seen another YouTuber do something similar, but
And now you're like, it's just the internet.
well, no,
Someone's got
it
to make
actually
this thing.
started with the card games.
Right,
Like we wanted to make our own card
We wanted to
game,
make our
but
own
like
card game.
everybody's made a card game.
right.
So I thought just make an 8-ball, magic 8-ball
Magic
with 20
8-ball
answers or
with
something.
A bunch of different stuff in it. So we did it.
We put our heads together. We came up with 20 different things that you could do to spice up the challenges out
Which
there.
I think it may need some revisions.
Yeah, maybe
You know,
what do you call it?
Gen
Part
2.
Yeah.
Gen 2
Gen 2
8
will
ball.
have some revisions,
But we had like one is like go back to the tips. One is play the forward tees. One is fairway is lava, which means like if you hit the fairway, it's a 1-stroke penalty. And then the one that
Happy
you got hit
Gilmore.
with a couple times, no shoes. Play,
barefoot,
play the whole.
barefoot.
So we had a lot of fun on an already difficult course, playing a little match with that. But I was really impressed with that course. And what I've been most impressed with is the conditions of the courses. Pure fairways.
Pure
I mean,
everywhere. Everywhere you look,
Pure.
this place is just
and for
unreal.
a place that's snowed in 5 months of the year,
Yeah.
to have it being this green, just popping, just like carpets out there.
But
and
it takes a
greens.
lot. It takes a lot. They have an army out there.
Yeah, well, you got
Especially
to see 'em.
me, like going out.
Yeah,
but
you saw
I
that ground.
every course we've been at so far, I've gone out before these guys and before any other golfers, and I'll be flying and hundreds of course workers. It seems like
Yeah.
there might just be 10 guys out there that I'm seeing the whole time.
over and over.
but-
Keep running to the same
yeah,
guys.
but it seems like every hole had 3 to 5 guys on it before we got out
Well,
there.
whatever they're the right thing because I love these greens. I've never made so many putts in my life as I've made here, but they roll so true. They're like pool tables. They're fast,
But in like a good way.
but in the
Like we say
best
pool
possible.
tables a lot.
I never once saw a green that was in any type of condition but top condition on all the courses. That 100% includes the baths, which I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Because if you think about the number of pitch marks, it's a small course. It's just par 3 holes.
Right.
Guys are coming through there all day long hitting those greens,
Pelting that green, right?
and it's immaculate.
It is. They do a great
Immaculate.
job. They
I
do
mean,
a great
I mean, if you can't tell how impressed I am with this place, I'm so impressed with it. So
We might just leave Frank here.
we may just leave me here. I said as we were walking around, which we're going to get to the Straits. We're going to leave that one, save that one for you for a minute here. But when we were walking around the Straits, I'm like, Mike, this is an immediate top 3, and it's a contender for 1.
Easily.
And you know, for me, it's hard
Yeah.
to unseat my other Pete Dye dream course, which is the Ocean. But
You would put you'd go Ocean, not in any particular order, but Ocean, Whistling Straits, and Kings Barnes.
Kings Barnes is up there. I'm
I
trying
don't
to.
think that's in your top 3 Kings Barnes. I feel like it's not.
It was a top 3 day with that
Top
weather.
3 old course.
For me, like kind of the old courses there in that top 3. But I don't know. For me, this was just like, it was perfection. It was like we had the perfect weather, the water was blue, everything like that. But getting back to Meadows Valley,
We can't skip Tobacco Road. I know that was a favorite.
Tobacco Road too. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But we go back to going back to Meadows Valley. So we play over there. We had an incredible match. There was so much character out there. Like I said, Pete Dye challenge everywhere. After that, we got to talk about the food. So we start grabbing food here.
Completely surprised.
Dude, mind blown
Really,
because
Really, really
Short
good.
food could be iffy.
it can be. And like we were already like, no matter what we're eating here, we're happy about it. They take care of the media well.
Yep.
Great. But we're like, our minds were blown that first day. They have this like little tavern pub area over by where we're staying. By the
Swing studio.
Yes. This is separate from the swing studio.
right.
That's another thing.
Tavern and then the swing studio.
So you got a tavern, you got a swing studio. I'll tell you about the swing studio in a second. But the tavern, it was one of those things. It was experience was it's good when it was so good. All we talked about the next day was the food, and literally had to go back the next day and order the same thing.
Exactly.
That's how good it was.
It was.
That Korean flavored cauliflower was out of this world.
It was like sesame chicken, but it tasted all like it, but it wasn't chicken.
Tenderloin, and we're sitting outside, nice outside on the patio by the lake. I mean, again, this is why it's going to be a high recommendation for me when people ask, like, where should I go with like a buddy's trip or whatever. What I will say though is, I feel like it's a golfer's trip.
It's a golfer's trip.
This is not. I mean, every family's different, so I don't want to speak for anyone, but it's not someplace I would bring my wife and 2 young kids.
Right.
There are some resorts and stuff like that I feel like I could play golf while they do it. This is like purist golf stuff. I didn't see a whole lot for the kids to do.
There's really not much else to
There's
do.
really
in this
not much
area
else.
but golf.
Now, one thing there is, which is epic, and it saved us, it turned the ship around, is the Kohler Water Spa. This guy's idea was
I
brilliant.
threw that in there in planning this trip. I was like, Destination Kohler, bathtubs, bathroom, toilets, faucets. They're known for that. So they have this ridiculous spa here. I said, we got to hit this up.
Right. And that, because the thing was, we had played Meadows Valley, then we played the Bats, then the next day we played the Straits. We played and walked that full loop, that 8 miles. It was wearing on the body.
Yeah.
And we still have a lot of golf left to play at that point.
Yep.
And then we played the Bats again.
Yep.
So a lot of golf. So whatever they do in that spa, they got me back. They brought me back to life. It was resuscitation.
It was incredible.
But the reason I bring that up is again, if you're thinking about a trip, if let's say your significant other doesn't play golf, that is one thing 100% that would be great for them. I could see my wife coming with me and just hitting that spa. Right. She's just not into golf. She doesn't do the golf thing. But the kids, not so much. The rest of the vibe I get here is this is like golf heaven. This is for golfers. Like I said, everything from the pre-made sandwiches in the morning to the bars at night, the swing studio. It is high up on my list. The next time I get a DM saying I'm looking for a boys golf trip, where do I go? I'm going to be like, Kohler, Wisconsin.
Destination Kohler.
Do it. So that was the other thing, the swing studio. So they've got a swing studio here. It's this really cool 3-piece combo of a little pro shop where you can buy all your Whistling Straits stuff.
That's where I got this hat.
That's where you got this.
If anybody was wondering.
Dope hat right here. Then you've got 4 simulators, and one is the big wraparound simulator. And you have a bar in there. You can order. They've got the wood-fired pizza. They've got drinks. So you can be hitting the simulator. There's even a fitting center. You can get fit in there. So you've got that. So imagine, put this together in your head like this, like a boys trip type of thing, or a gal's trip if it's whatever with the golf. You could be playing around in the morning, hit the baths in the afternoon, grab a drink on the patio or lunch on the patio up at Black Wolf Run.
Right.
Come on back. Go hit the hit the spa, hit the swing studio. I mean, you're writing yourself a day.
That's a day.
I think we got a tornado coming through.
Yeah, she's blowing out there, and we're literally supposed to play the Irish.
I'm hearing thunder
in 30 minutes. We're supposed to play. So we got to see
coming down.
Let's hope we don't get delayed out there. Let's do this, Mike. Let's do a break there. Let's do a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the gem, Whistling Straits.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was a day. All right, big thanks to Tommy John. We are loving the gear we brought with us here. We were stacking ourselves with the 360 Sport underwear.
100.
I mean, you're playing this many rounds of golf. You need as much fresh underwear as you can get. I mean, we're playing 36 a day. It was sticky hot.
It was hot. And you know what? I've other stuff I've worn before, when it gets hot and sticky like that, it's all over the place on you, stuff like that. You're walking 8 miles on the straights. You got to know you're comfortable. That stay put waistband.
So good.
Gold, Jerry.
It's that gold, Jerry.
Gold.
No wedgies, super comfortable, mesh cooling zones, anti-odor, antimicrobial technology, and like you said, that stay put waistband. But go check it out for yourself. All the latest. I love the colors. I got my bright pinks on today.
I do too.
Because we're gonna do a challenge where a loser has to jump in.
I think we may do that. Right. We may do that.
All right, so we got that going on. So
I'm glad I didn't wear mine, because then I would have had to been the one in the water. I have a feeling. Oh yeah, chicken. Call me a chicken. Who's got the mullet? Okay.
Right. But these are easily they have been my favorite underwear for years, even before they partnered with us.
100, me too. I was so excited when they hopped in to support the show.
It's incredible.
Tommy John, we appreciate you guys.
And don't forget about our coupon code. Use the word Golficity at checkout. You'll get 20% off your order. You will not be disappointed. Go check out Tommy John.
Yep. And guys, also, Titleist. Want to thank Titleist for sponsoring this. Titleist definitely helped us out this week. We unfortunately donated a few really nice Pro V1s to the water out there. Pete Dye, like I said, he's got us. But
If you got a scuba tank.
like I said, listen, the feel around the greens. I told you before, I don't know what's happening, but I was putting the lights out there. You guys are going to see some of the videos. The Pro V1 is just feeling good. And look, we all have different ability levels and goals, but the one thing we share is a desire to bring our best every time we tee it up. Like you have a big trip like this, you want to play well. You know, it all really starts with choosing that ball that you can trust. So the Pro V1 is the best combination of speed, spin, and feel in the game. And that X, which I know you play, Mike, gives you a higher flight, a little bit of a firmer feel. But both deliver that long distance, that consistent flight, soft feel, and that all-important drop and stop greenside control. Nothing makes us feel better than when Zach's got the camera on the green, and you just see that bad boy just hit that green, drop, stop, and zip back a little bit. Oh, it feels
Mike
so
had
good.
I had a
one or two of those, maybe at the
pull back
at the baths. Was it at the baths?
I think it was the bats.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one that
First
it
day.
just hit and it was just like,
When we played
Boom.
with real clubs and real balls, yeah. Not with those.
It always feels good. Yeah, exactly. So listen, whether you're Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, or Nelly Korda competing at the game's highest level or simply striving to be the best you can be, tee up that Pro V1 and Pro V1X. Always bring your best. Also, guys, this podcast is sponsored by Gosling's Rum, the creator of the Dark and Stormy cocktail, the official cocktail of the 19th hole. Speaking of which, you get out there, sit on the patio, have them make you a nice dark and stormy. That's the way to go. And if you want, you have, enjoy a little bit of that refreshment out on the course. They've got the pre-made cans. You can get those. Remember, don't forget it. The whole merch store, in fact, at darkandstormy.com. Make sure you guys use code Golficity. You're going to get $15 off your order. Gosling's Rum on their website. You can also order that ginger beer or the Dark and Stormy pre-made cans. A lot of options there. But listen, it's only valid through August 31st. So make sure you stock up. Remember, you got to be 21 or older, and please drink responsibly.
Yeah, and last couple, I just want to thank Precision Pro and FootJoy. FootJoy I'm going to save for last because they're the reason why we're out here this week, and I got some fun stuff to talk about with FootJoy, but also Precision Pro. This is actually the first trip, or the first week that we've had those custom Golficity plates on our NX10 range.
I mean, honestly, super shout out to Precision Pro
right?
for their idea coming to us and saying, we want to make custom Golficity plates for these things. I mean, they didn't have to do that, and that's awesome.
They didn't have to, and they made them quick, and they look amazing. I mean, you guys will overlay some here. You could see them if you're watching this podcast, but they're really great, and like we've always talked about, they're just the best in the game when it comes to customer care. They have that lifetime battery replacement, the 2-year warranty, the 90-day return policy. I know I laugh and joke, but if you're not happy with your rangefinder, if they're not, that's the whole summer of golf.
Yeah,
you can honestly return it, get your money back.
I remember we were playing with Busta Jack, and you gave Busta the one to use, and I can't do a Texas accent, but he's like, that's a nice rangefinder. That's a nice rangefinder. Yeah.
He loved it, man. But hey, Golficity is the coupon code to get $20 off. Swing with confidence, hit more greens, visit Precision Pro Golf, and pick up an NX10. You guys will love it. And lastly, I want to thank FootJoy.
Yeah, big thanks to FootJoy.
The big shout out. I mean, every year we're lucky to do this travel series for FootJoy. We did Pinehurst the year before, and then COVID shut down 2020. Before that, we were in Scotland. But here we're in Kohler. And the one thing I want to shout out, and obviously the clothes and everything, keeping us dry, and the elements and the wind, and then the sun comes out and then the wind comes back.
Dude, we didn't know what to expect. This is our first time in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin in August. You can't just say shorts and a polo. It doesn't work like that.
Exactly. And then being able to have those light layers that we started off our mornings. We're teeing off at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then what shocked me was the humidity. Ended up getting so humid, and being able to just delayer, and you've got these polos that keep nice and comfortable, cool.
But you know what the real savior was? The footwear. That we've been wearing.
You walk this much, that.
You walk this much, and to pop a shoe on, especially a shoe that I've never worn before, out of the box. Think about it, not even broken in.
Yeah.
You get nervous that you're like, oh, I'm going to blister up. Let me tell you something. It's like walking on pillows. The 8-mile walk at Whistling Straits, first time I wore the summer collection premieres, and it was like, my feet are feeling.
Yeah.
I had gotten those summer premieres and put them away for this trip. Same. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is the dead honest truth. If they were the least comfortable things on earth, I would have worn them because I love the look. They looked so great. The win-win is that they're also so darn comfortable. Yeah. When I was immediately sold on them when we were in Pinehurst, and I played number 2. It's a whole walking round in my premieres. And then I had another set of shoes that I was going to put on like a more sneaker-like. Right. For Tobacco Road in the afternoon, immediately after, and I just kept the premieres on. I'm like, they're that comfortable. For real.
I had mine on
were
too.
wearing them
My
all-
summer collection as well.
You know
I
they're
think we
comfortable
had
when
the-
your cameraman is wearing
I
them.
think we had the trifecta of summer collection.
Right. Guy's not even taking swings.
Yeah,
He's wearing-
that's how you know they're comfortable. But that summer collection is
And I walked
absolute fire.
36 technically. No.
You walked everywhere. You've
Yeah.
seen it all.
The map, dude.
But I would say, listen, guys, make sure you keep an eye on footjoy.com because like Zach's saying here, the summer collection, some of those, they're limited edition runs.
And they
go-
are so cool.
and they go
are
quick.
by far the coolest golf shoes I've seen. And at least 6 people have said something
Said-
about my
yeah.
shoes since I've been here.
Yeah, and those limited editions go
So-
quick, so just hop on them because I've had so many DMs and people like, hey, where'd you get? And I was like, it's a little too late.
Yep.
So just hop on them.
Yep.
Yeah. So all right, let's get back to it. Let's talk about Whistling Straits. So just the experience from front to back, I've got not a bad thing I can say about it. We actually got the opportunity to preview it a little bit. We came over the night before and had dinner here on the patio, which again,
What a dinner.
10 out of 10. Like,
Wear pants though.
what? Yeah, wear pants. This guy got eaten up out there.
Out there in shorts.
The
It was my own
mosquito
fault.
mosquitoes got him.
Assassins. Yep.
But I'll tell you what. First of all, this drink we had, brilliantly called the Ride or Die, spelled like Ryder Cup and Pete Die.
Yep.
Just really good
Who
tequila.
came up with that name? I want to meet that person. Who created that drink?
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
just brilliant.
Okay.
This is the little things, right?
Yeah, the little things.
You got tequila, and then you have a little bit of lemonade, and a little splash of soda. So I remember when the Buster Jack guys came here, they were like, I told them about it. They're like, we're going there for dinner tonight, and they went. He had 2 of them.
Right?
So it was just incredible, but we got to preview it, and it was just so nice sitting out there in those last couple hours, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, as the sun is going down. You're watching the last people come in. There's got these beautiful Adirondack chairs, which is where we wanted to do this podcast, but it rained on us. But you sit there, everybody's watching everybody coming up 18, clapping for good shots, things like
I'm
that.
gonna have a guest walk in here any second. Sorry, hold on.
So just an absolutely incredible experience
How's it
there.
going?
So that was our little preview. We got to take a look at it. We got to take a peek at it. And of course, that just whets the appetite and we're ready to go play Whistling Straits, right? So we come here in the morning. First of all, the caddies were awesome.
They work great.
I'm not going to name any names here, but I've had some caddies before that weren't ideal. For whatever reason, we're out there filming, they're complaining about like how bad the bag. These guys were just like immediately part of the group.
Yep.
Just like having a good time out there, hustling, everything.
Yeah.
So that was incredible. We get out there and it's just like the whole team, super nice. It was a very similar vibe that I got to the ocean course. Remember, I've said before how great the hospitality was.
Right.
Similar vibe. We get out there, and then what did you think of the course?
Man, it was
10 out of
incredible.
10, best
out of 10.
course
I mean,
ever.
There you have
like,
it.
Almost every hole is on the lake. You don't have many that are off of the cliff. So almost every shot you see the water, and I love that, and I know you love that.
I love that. Not only you hear you hear the waves crashing.
You hear them crashing loud. Like you might think that it's a lake, but these waves are just crashing and
clear,
yeah.
like fresh water.
There were sheep.
There's sheep,
sheep
which
on
you got. We didn't get to see the sheep. You saw them from the air.
I heard them first. I was walking on like 13 T-box and I'm hearing cowbells like da-da-ding, da-da-ding, da-da-ding. And then I like look around. I'm like, can't see anything. Drones up in the air. Turn around. There were like maybe 15 sheep. No, that might be too many. About 10 sheep.
Our direction that we gave you, I think the line was, we want you to also write your Oscar award-winning speech while you're droning the streets.
Right.
That's how we
Yeah.
wanted you to get involved. And then after the round, you showed us the footage on your phone. I was like, dude, Oscar winning right there. It was.
What was it like to have experience? Not many people get to be out on Whistling Straits by yourself. There was no one else there when you were out there.
First of all, I would like to thank whoever
There's a
approved of
speech.
us
Here
for.
comes the
Here
speech.
comes the Oscar speech.
Cue the music.
No, I would just
I
seriously
want to thank the
like to-
Academy.
Yeah, no.
gotta thank
I
the
would like to thank whoever approved us
Yeah.
to drone Whistling Straits because it was like one of the best experiences of my life. Got to go out before all the golfers and just the light was unreal. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. There was no wind.
Yep.
Like the windiest place on
was
earth,
not
there was no
windy.
wind.
I know. We were so blessed by this experience. It's ridiculous.
It was just some of the nicest colors. The fairways were just so green, but the fescue was that perfect brown.
Yeah.
It just looked how you would imagine it to look. Like you see it on TV and you're like, some courses that we've been to that have had tournaments there before, they don't really look like they do like in tournament play. This
You looked like
they could have the Ryder Cup here tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Exactly.
Yeah,
And
definitely can.
it would be just as
incredible
difficult. It is
Yeah.
just the most gorgeous course. I don't know how I'm going to go back to droning normal, boring courses after this masterpiece.
I mean,
but
1,000 bunkers. They told us over 1,000 because I don't think anyone's counted them all.
Yeah. We played pretty well, and I don't think we would have played as well if we had any kind of wind. I think it would have been a brutal day.
Wind would make this place incredibly difficult. But one thing that I do like, and I think Pete Dye does this really well. For anybody out there who feels like my game's not cut for it and I'm too intimidated to play it, one thing that Pete Dye does really well is the options of tee boxes.
Yep.
We played the middle tee box, like the greens, which played to about 6,600 yards. But you had options from 5,000 all the way up to the big boy tees, 7,700.
Yes.
It's actually just under 7,800. We saw some of the tee. I asked the caddy on the way out, I'm like, how many rounds a year do you loop from the blacks, from the back tees? He says I get about 5.
That's it.
I said that they should have. I said that these guys should have done it from the tips. This was before we had the Busted Jack collab, but like just the cover image, Whistling Straits from the tips.
That would have been a grueling disaster. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but 1 billion views. So like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
If people want to see us in pain. I tell you, it was. But what I want to say is, don't get discouraged. Like from where we played it, I think we played pretty well. I think you and I, if it was just straight regular play and we weren't playing the 2-man scramble, we would have made a couple of pars.
Couple of birdies.
The guys from Busted Jack were pretty lights out. I mean, I was playing on a team with Mad Jack Cole, and he played the first 5 holes without me. Let's put it that way. And he birdied the first.
But then you showed up after the turn. I think it was that brawl.
Well, the thing is, I showed up is one thing. I hit some shots that were some of my best. Just wasn't as good as his.
Right.
Like those guys are lights
was
out.
like
I mean, he's a
+4.
+4 handicap.
Right.
So I mean, he
The ball just sounded different.
it sounds different. Yeah. I mean, if there's anybody who legitimately could have played, but even they looked at those tips and they're like, no, I don't want to have a bad. I want to have a good day, not a bad day.
Well, yeah.
So if you come here, play the right tee boxes, and you're gonna do just fine.
Yeah, even if you have to swallow your pride a little bit and move up, even because there's blues and then there's green, so it goes green, blue, and then tips. And the blues, we could have done that like 6,800,
Yeah.
which would have made for like a hard day.
6,800 would have.
5 or 66.
Well, 68 would immediately put it in one of the longest courses we've played.
Right.
Because we've tipped out places and played like Pound Ridge at 73.
Right.
But 68 is pushing it for us.
a big,
I like that 65 number. Happy with that.
Those 435-yard par 4s.
But great greens, incredibly difficult bunkering. If you miss some spots on some greens, you could put up a big number on the hole. But if you played and you listened to your caddies, the lines, where to hit it, you could hit your fairways and you could hit your greens and you could score here.
And you can, and I'll just kind of tease you guys with our video that'll be on our channel. We did the back 9 for our channel. The Busted Jack guys did the front 9, but we had the famous 17th hole where Spieth did the whole shot at the Ryder Cup.
Oh yeah, let's just talk about that for a second.
Well, hold on, because there was an up and down there that one team made that I would have never bet anything good would happen to that.
Right.
Like that ball, 10 out of 10 goes in the water, goes over. Let me just say, they got it up and over, and you guys went on and they made the par. It was incredible. I'm still thinking about that.
It was incredible.
But yeah, that Spieth shot, I don't know how he did that, because we took a peek over the ledge.
90-degree wall.
90-degree like I was scared looking over the edge.
Right.
Like we were going to try it. I'm like, no.
You better be a dead man right now
Yeah.
if I tried that.
Months leading up to this, we're like, yeah, we're gonna do the Speed 17. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great reel. Get out there.
We took
and
one
it
peek
is
over that.
serious.
And we were like, that would end our trip. Doing that shot.
2
would end-
blown knees
Yeah.
and a nice bath.
Yeah. That was just wild. But the Straits it was something else. The only one we can't tell you about is the Irish because we haven't played it yet. And in fact, we've got to get up and go do it right this second.
Okay.
It's we got 15 minutes to our tea time if we don't get rain delayed. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. I think the one thing we really wanted to accomplish with this was just kind of digesting and talking about our experience, because maybe some of you can relate. You've played here before, you've done it. If so, drop your own experience in the comments, share it. Otherwise, I know a lot of you sometimes will go to some of these shows to do a little bit of research and even DMing us and asking like, where should we play? We wanted to give you guys a feel for it because we, like I said, we were like really high up on our expectations, and I can truly say they were exceeded. It exceeded it. And this is one of those things, even like I said, I keep coming back to it because they were the other ones who experienced with us, Busted Jack. They immediately said, we are coming back here. We're bringing our fathers. So they, young guys that like to play golf with their fathers. He'll be like, I'm bringing them out here. We're coming back. So this is the spot. If you're putting together a trip, if you've got golfers, this is the trip for golfers is to come here.
Still haven't found any cheese curds.
We will get you those cheese curds.
Even if they have to be airport cheese curds tomorrow.
Let's get to the tee box and we'll find this guy the cheese curds. Make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, and we'll see you guys in the next video.